Hi, this is a video about the actual developmental knowledge exam. So, what should you expect? So, I'll come back here to the study guide in just a minute, but again, this is listed in multiple places on Blackboard for you so that you're able to download it, print it out if you need to, or type directly on the document to start your study. Okay, so the exam itself, you have 3 hours allotted time maximum. You do not have to use the entire time, but you have that entire time. So how will it be broken down? Well, out of 100 points, 64 of those points will come from four short essay questions, and 36 points will come from multiple choice questions. So as you can see, the four short essay questions, there are three mandatory essays that every student gets the same three. But then for your fourth essay, you'll get four prompts in the same box. And you get to choose which one you feel the most comfortable responding to. So the short essay questions, as you can see, are worth a lot. They're worth 16 points each. So you really want to make sure you're spending time answering these questions fully, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in my recommendations below. There are 36 multiple choice questions. They're worth 1 point each, so for a total of 36 points. You can bounce around on the exam. It's all available at once. So if you want to answer the multiple choice first and then go back and answer the essay, you'll just want to make sure that you answer all of the questions before you submit. Now, what is a passing score? 70% or above. So a score of 70 or above gets you to pass this exam. If you do not pass the exam, you will get a no pass email from me saying that you did not pass and explaining that you do have another opportunity to take the exam. It will be a different version, but it's the same content. So we'll set a time and a date for you to retake that exam and give you some pointers on what to concentrate on. So the recommendations are to again review each concept from the study guide. And when we look at it in a moment, you can see theory is very important. It's all throughout the study guide. Remember to answer all parts of essay responses. Provide the concept or theory that is being asked of you, explain that concept or theory, and provide examples. Now, I know this isn't exactly appropriate, but as you can see, you can think of the acronym PEE, provide, explain, examples. And if you kind of stick to that with your essay responses, you should do pretty good. Now let's look at the study guide again. So you need to have an overall understanding of nature versus nurture and the three domains of development. And again, if you don't know what I'm referring to, you have to go back to your child psychology textbook and start reviewing these early chapters. Now, attachment theory talks about both Bowlby and Ainsworth. Bowlby contributed to the phases, while Ainsworth is the person who came up with the strange situation, secure base, and the types of attachment. Bronfenbrenner and his systems and all of, examples for those. Erickson's theory. Now remember, he has 8 stages, but you are responsible for the first 5. You need to have a general understanding of what his theory is about, which is identity, characteristics of each stage, ages of each stage, and what is the psychosocial conflict. Piaget, know his stages, know again general information about his theory and the general process of how children think. Vygotsky, another important theorist, cognitive theorist, who talked about the zone of proximal development, guided participation. So go back and review his theory. Now, with brain development, we talk about that in the prenatal period. We talk about it at the beginning of infancy and throughout adolescence. So you want to look at things like the sensitive period in infancy. Synaptic pruning, that was back again when we talked about prenatal development, or not even prenatal development, but brain development. Now, temperament is Thomas and chess, and you need to know each of the types, what they represent, and the understanding of the goodness of fit. Prenatal development, again, what are teratogens? What are the general descriptions of how the uh, fetus or develops, right? From a zygote or from the germinal period to embryo to fetus, and the general terms. Lastly, have a good understanding of identity. Not only Erickson and how he approached identity, but Marcia and his different um, styles of identity statuses, right? And he talked about commitment and exploration. So however you want to do it, making note cards. You can type directly here on these study guides. You could create lines for yourself and print it out and write it in your own handwriting, but you'll want to be very comfortable with all the concepts on this study guide. So good luck with the exam and email me with any questions.